Okay. We are
Yeah,
live.
we have gone live.
Okay, right.
12
We
seconds.
gone right. Right. Just give me a second, and let's try to put the thing. And okay, right. So I think yeah. So we are live right now. And hello everyone. How is everyone doing? Hope everyone had a wonderful new year. Welcome to the fourth edition of my live session, and my name is Xing, and I will be your host for today. Before I begin, I would like to thank all of you who are watching right now. For those who are watching for the first time, this live is actually for everyone to connect and share each other experiences. So you see, each one of us has a unique story to tell. So do you have one to share? What is your story? We would like to hear from you. So we are just into the first week into the new year 2021. The year 2020 has just passed before us. The year 2020 has gone down as one of the most extraordinary year. It has definitely changed the way how we do things in what we now call the new normal. Today, I'm very honored to have a special guest with me from Melbourne, Australia. He is a global mentor and speaker, entrepreneur, founder, business partner, chief financial officer, and a fellow certified practicing accountant, CPA, Australia. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together to welcome Mr. Alan Lim. So, hi, Alan. First of all, I would like to thank you for joining us today. We are privileged to have you here, and we appreciate you taking some time off to come and share your story with all of us. So, can you please
Thank you,
share with
Ching.
us? Yep. Can you please share with us actually your career journey? Why did you actually choose Melbourne to spend your final career, business, and life journey? What is all about you all about?
Thank you, Xing, once again. Thank you, Xing, for creating the Facebook page Copy Time. When you put the Copy Time, it reminds me of, the coffee shop drinking in the morning, where we have beer in the evening and beer at night. At the mamak shop, if you know, in most of the Malaysian places, the type of is a type of tea, and it would be a great place for you, and great honor and great contribution to create this Facebook page so that you can share information of people from various countries and culture. It is actually in this type of drinking places or coffee shops, where $1 million deals are spoken, where career opportunities are spoken. You may not be aware of that. I was actually to a party of few of these, $1 million deals and career opportunities. This is probably very different and something very pertinent to Malaysia. There was no LinkedIn message, no WhatsApp, no Facebook messenger for you to share this type of information. So where do you share them in the coffee shop? And the more you drink, whether it's a beer or coffee, the more time you spend hours, the more information you get out of it. A very deeply embedded culture in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia culture, where I was born. I won't tell you born because I will me tell you my age. Hopefully, let them guess. Yeah, if they want to know my age, well, you can follow me on my Facebook page or follow me on my LinkedIn. I will tell you. It's my honor and privilege to be your first interview for the year 2021. Thank you. And also thank you for the first 3 interviews that you have done in the year 2020, where I've actually viewed it and I enjoy it very much. Thank you once again. The topic 2020, the year with the great reset due to COVID-19, reminds me of the 1987 recession, the 1997 recession, the 2007 recession, and now the 2019 COVID. The lessons I've learned is that for every crisis, there is an opportunity. We need to learn to be prepared for every crisis and able to smell or identify the opportunities. I all about you. Project is all about working with you on your goals in your career, business, and life, and identify where are your opportunities. I will work with you to identify the opportunities if you are my career mentee, business mentee, or my life mentee. In my opinion, there are always great opportunities, but a matter of who will find these great opportunities require the right passion, the right expertise, and the right opportunities, right timing. Time or kopitiam, Malaysia love to chit chat or have casual catch up in coffee shop for hours, which is called kopitiam. McDonald or Makers, Melbourne love to chit chat there and have casual catch up with Maker. Just maybe I asked you, Shing, do you often also catch up in coffee shops in Malaysia? I know you're from East Malaysia.
This from this Kuala Lumpur, from Kuala Lumpur. This PJ, and usually we will do catch up in Mama, Mama store.
Mama, yeah. So great, yes, that's the Mamak store. They call it Teh Tarik. I remember
Teh Tarik,
I actually have in the Teh Tarik the whole day. You remember when there was a business deal with very good friends. We had the deal in the Mamak shop. We start drinking in the Mama shop. Then we adjourn to a coffee shop, and we adjourn to the what they call karaoke. And I think that was when a million deal was done. So I think that obviously that is done informally. Okay, we will give it to you. We have all these criteria and things, and then we start the official part where we will arrange a meeting and everything. So I think if you were to work in Malaysia, you will find this very different. You start from there, and even like career opportunities. I heard from one of the datos that they have these career opportunities for this in Sunway, and then people they are going to advertise, and before they advertise, they actually talk about this, and then you apply first. So if they can get an internal people to apply, they will not actually advertise. So basically, all these things happen in the informal way through kopitiam, and this is probably a great topic to talk about all those things that happen. I started my journey in big KPMG, for 5 years in an audit firm. There, I learned a lot of things which I will be able to share with you later. The Sunway Group is one of Malaysia's largest conglomerates. It's about 2 billion. It's a 2 billion turnover company at the moment. I spent my longest period of 25 years, and I worked my way from the public listed company from Malaysia until they wanted a presence in Australia, where I put up my hand and says, okay, what they wanted a presence out of Malaysia. They then suggested, why not America? Why not any place? Then I say, why not Australia? I put up my hand and says, okay, I'll be the project leader for this. And that's where I finally ended up in Malaysia, spending about half my career in Malaysia and half my career in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and half my career in what you call Melbourne, Malaysia. You know why I always refer Shing to Perth is because I have a friend almost exactly the same face as him. So when I see him, it is like I think of him, and that's where I say East Malaysia, Perth. Well, when your faces are very similar, and then if it's actually a long time friend, you just can't forget about them. So that's how I always refer him as somebody close, and then related to East Malaysia and Perth, because a lot of people from East Malaysia actually go to Perth because it's one of the closest place to Malaysia. And I asked them why. They say that if I go from East Malaysia to Kuala Lumpur to work, the time to take is not much different from them to go to Perth. So why not Perth? which is obviously a good choice for them. That's the reason why a lot of people in East Malaysia actually settle down in Perth. So after the 25 years in Sunway, I went to the federal government, which is actually the top 5 schemes, which is in National Disability Insurance Scheme, a 22 billion scheme. Then the journey, I moved down further and become founder, global entrepreneur, global business partner, at the moment focusing on funding private equity, HR, and real estate, as this is my passion and where my expertise lies. And I also love to be global mentor and global speakers. Why Melbourne? I've fallen in love with Melbourne when I was actually studying in Melbourne. Do you know my worst memories was in Melbourne?
Oh.
Let me share with you the worst memories that I have. I almost had my hand deep fried when I was working in the kitchen as an assistant chef. Luckily, the oil was actually not burning.
Oh.
If not, it will be, I won't have a hand, it will be a fry hand. I dipped my hand inside there, and that's my first lesson. You know, when you have anything that you are actually, do not panic. Just walk off from the situation if you are in a situation where you're too caught up. So that was the first lesson in life that I learned, that just walk off. So apart from that, I have days struggling almost without without money to buy food. I got a scholarship and went to Australia. Without this scholarship, I would not have done my studies in Australia. And I worked myself and almost self-support myself during the whole tenure of my studying. So I appreciate a lot of things in life. I worked more than 20 hours a day for 7 days a week for a very long period. I have without money to even take my graduation photograph. And I flew back many years later to buy the graduation gown and took the photograph back in Melbourne. But if you see my graduation photo, you have seen that how come is this age that you have the graduation? It's because of that. I think obviously some people have noticed, is that you when you were young? So well, then I say it's that. I have to tell you a story of what happened. And then from there, I have my best memories of my life in Melbourne, working as a chief financial officer in a listed company, working in NDIS in the federal government, founder, global entrepreneur, global business partner, and also mentoring for the Monash University, CPA Australia, Australian Multicultural Education Service, which is called AIMS, or which actually is an education, employment, and settlement for migrants or refugees. I have a global speaker in international events with Marcus. I podcast in Europe and US, and interviews with quite a number of people. I have not put everything on my Facebook and LinkedIn because certain parts of it is probably something that I treasure, and I have just kept it until the time where maybe when I write my book or when I have my own Facebook blog, it will come out. Watch for it when it comes out. Yeah. Many have predicted that, I would not come back to Melbourne due to my worst memories of my life that I've suffered. But somehow, like things, what you hate most or what you don't like, you finally end up like even for marriage. So I managed to overcome them, and now I'm having my best memories of my life in Melbourne. Big Four was always the biggest influence in my life of management of stop, start, continue, and Pareto principle, which I've been using over many years. I modified them, I relearned, improved, and extended to many things, from email management to career development to process reengineering, business management, and value management. Big Four was also my biggest influence in my networking. Maybe, I just stop there, and I think I've taken up the second part of the question of yours, so I will leave it up to the third question for you to go through.
Yeah, because no, you actually have so many roles that you have. So I do not know whether actually how do you actually manage your time so efficiently. Given you have those so many roles at the same time. So actually
Yep.
actually I want to put that what was your impact in the year 2020 and what are your plans actually moving forward and what your learnings during the lockdown in the year 2020?
Yep. But okay, the question of my time management. My time management started when I was in Big Four. We have so many projects and so many things to do that we actually do not know how to do, and that's where we actually learn that basically we need to do in all the projects that we have a start, continue, and a Pareto principle. Basically, we have to focus. Let's say the project that we do, or the audit or the consultancy, is what value. So in terms of what value, we should be spending what time. In terms of spending what time, that is the budgeted time we should have. So we will have to stick in the budget time, and then from there we work out what is the best value and which is the best area we should focus on. So bringing all this means basically, like, now I have probably about 10 business 10 businesses that I actually share with people. So I will focus very well and tell people I'm very time poor. I have other things, but time is probably very poor. And I said I can afford 2 hours of my time every fortnight, in terms of this business. So we will have to work out what is the 2 hours that that value of the 2 hours that I can contribute to that business. So I think I am thankful that a lot of my business partner, if I hear that, you hear from, let's say, my interview, that they are very supportive and tells me, yep, I understand that you have a limited time, poor on time, but then it's the knowledge that I have in terms of strategies, in terms of how to do things differently, how to attract customers, which is of value to them. So basically, I work in a calendar like when I was in Big Four. When I was in Big Four, we understand that we have almost like every week we have a client and to deliver the client. So basically, we have 50 clients in a year. So 50 clients are the amount of amount of revenue we get. So basically, we have to say, okay, how many hours we have to budget. So I have to budget accordingly. And a lot of people even ask me, Alan, your business partner, you only spend 2 hours fortnightly, and then you can be spending time, in an interview. You can be spending time in 100 lunches. I say that is my hobby and my passion, and I love it. So this is probably one of the ways that I can distress, and then I will have to focus very hard on the 2 hours with our business partner to come up with ideas that can actually generate a lot of profit, replicate a lot of things so that it becomes very successful. Like now, what I'm doing, a lot of them is actually with this, like, says that what has this 2020 slowdown, 2020 actually a slowdown or a crisis, you call it, given me the opportunity. So we says that, okay, this is the opportunity that we can roll our business globally. So I'm working to have 3 of my businesses to be rolled on globally. So like I say, every crisis there's an opportunity. So why is this an opportunity? Because very simple, people cannot travel. So if you have if you are bidding for business or tendering your business, it's no different from somebody from another part of a very near country like Singapore or in Australia. We can just go Zoom, and if we can deliver the results and we have the value, people will say, with today's technology, it's not going to be different. So I'm actually pitching on this opportunity. Yep.
Okay, right. So please share with us. Actually, you mentioned about networking right earlier on, and actually, please share with us actually your passion in networking. Why is networking is important?
Yep. Big Four was my biggest influence in my networking, where I've actually had the opportunity to meet up with partners, chief executive officers, senior managers, and we soon realized that it will not be available when I leave Big Four, which, you know, confirms it when I was in Sunway. We have a lot of protocols. You know, you can't meet you can only talk to your boss. You cannot talk to your boss and all this, because that's the way the protocol works. So instead of having said, oh, not able to happen, I says, okay. So I went back to calculate, you know, I'm actually doing about 100 to 150 hours where I meet a lot of people like partners, chief executive officers, senior managers. So I work out, let's say for the 100 to 200 hours, what do you do? I do the same. I replicate the model. So I replicate my model and I put up the hand, you know, whenever there's a chance for me to organize events, taking overseas people around, talks at university, public relations, social clubs, committees. I'm very heavily involved in all this. So this gives me the opportunity to meet all the people. Although the check can be very short, but I learn a lot. See, I actually put up my hand, let's say for some way, if they have a CEO for another country coming here, I will put my hand up and say, I want to take them from the airport to the hotel. It can be a short trip from that. That's where I learn a lot of business strategies, the challenges. That is something very valuable, and you know, more you can give. Let's say, you know, I will volunteer my time to take them around to KL Towers, Petronas Towers, and all this, and they remember me. And I think I kept in contact with them over the years, and now in my WhatsApp and in also my LinkedIn. And that is probably to be said that they are all my mentors. I don't have a specific mentors, but they're all my mentors in the sense that, you know, we share information, we share groups and happenings every year. So I think that's where I kept in contact. And then the 100 lunches started from there, where, you know, in a short brief, Kelly approached me. I thought, oh, another one on my networking where I'm going to spend 100 hours. That's how I started my 100 lunches, and where I met Shane. And that's where I can, you know, I have the privilege and the honor to have the interview of, you know, with him.
Wow, that's amazing. So that means your networking has actually started much longer, quite a very long time ago. So it's a continuous process.
Yep, a continuous but refined process.
Okay,
Still learning.
Right. So yeah, so I guess that is the importance, right, of networking. So yeah, please share with us actually your passion in mentoring. So I mean, you did mention a couple of times. So
Yep.
you can, yep.
Yep. Obviously, Big Four was also my biggest influence in mentoring, whereby I have the opportunity to mentor my staff. I have mentored my staff, you know, that's where I learned how to mentor my staff, because it is part of the KPMG program that they actually mentor their staff. Because why? The staff just go every year. They call it the training school. So in a training school, if you want your staff to be productive, you want your staff to understand what's the culture, the only way you can do is to mentor them. So that's why I learned my mentoring. And then somewhere I have the opportunity to become the mentor for a talented group for succession planning. And also the mentor for a couple of universities in Malaysia for the final year students. My takeaway at the time is I have the opportunity to Sunway University. I decided to continue the trend of mentoring. So I put up my hand and volunteer to be CPA Australia. Then Monash University, AIMS, and I expanded my mentoring to increase in business mentoring, life mentoring, and career mentoring. So how many people have I mentored? I stopped the count at 300. Recently requested for an estimate of the interview, it will be thousands. I can't count now, but I know for 100 lunches, I've actually had 212 or something.
Oh,
I started in September. Yep.
wow. How do you choose the criteria? How do you choose the criteria actually, to become your mentor, or mentee?
Yep. Easy. My criteria would depend, on the hours that I spend. I have people that I have mentor, which is half an hour. People that I mentor will be 2 hours. So basically, the relevancy, number one, and whether it's one issue or that somebody that, will become my business partner, or somebody I should, I find that there's actually a lot of potential. I want to work with them to achieve the highest potential. And as a result of this working, I will actually try to influence them. I'm spending so much time with you to mentor you, and I'm quite confident that you will be of potential, and hopefully you will also spend the same amount of time when you become successful. So that means we have a replication process. So I may be spending, let's say, 20 hours with one person, and I hope that he spend 20 hours with multiple persons. So in other words, it's like contribute back to the community. Hopefully, more people will get benefit of the mentoring program.
I see, I see, I see. Wow, that's a very good initiative, actually. So please share with us, actually, what is your legacy?
Yeah, my legacy is always to leave behind a legacy to contribute back to community. Let's say since I graduate, I've been doing donation to scholarship, Monash scholarship, and also mentoring. So I realized that, like I was sharing you, I can only do thousands people mentoring. And then if I attribute, let's say even I retire, I can probably do few thousand at the most. So I always have this idea that I will try to have this as a legacy, and I need funds to have this legacy, and I need people to work together with me as the legacy. I was fortunate enough to have another person who actually we founded together this it all changes from here, where professionals can grow their professionals network, knowledge and skills to achieve a successful career, business and life. Free webinars in mindset, leadership and personal development to continue mentoring what I started off when I graduate. So I hope that this will go into a foundation that I'm targeting about 5,000-6,000 people will be able to benefit at one time. And if this is continuing going, that means that what I can do in a lifetime is replicated across the foundation. So this is what I wanted to do to leave as a legacy for my mentoring, which I started when I graduate. And the other part is, I've been documenting my global mentoring program, which I actually mentor for people from US, Europe, India, China, Asia Pacific, with thousands of mentees, the living culture, the working culture, the business culture, cover letter, acing the interview, reach the top of the career, and reach established business for access to many. So basically, I will be doing up the program, and hopefully that funding or that income that come from that will be used to fund the donation to scholarship when I'm no more around as part of my legacy. So I started, with something that mentoring, I want it to be done through a legacy foundation, and the donation to scholarship through a program that I've set up many years ago, which have benefited a lot of people. Hopefully this program, I actually make it to something that can be sellable, and the proceeds will go to the donation for scholarship. That is what I want to leave behind as myself, Alan.
Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, all right, everyone. I think this conclude my live for today, actually. Alan, do you have any more thing to add, actually, before we end this live?
Sure. I have to thank you again, Ching, for this opportunity, for this giving me this opportunity to talk to people and share with people. And hopefully, if those people who are actually interested can actually contact me and to follow my LinkedIn on the below where actually Shing has put it. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for investing half an hour of your time. Thank you.
Okay,
Take care.
okay, right. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, due to the time constraint, actually, I do not have time to actually ask Alan any more questions. However, I mean, Alan did mention just now that if you would like to connect to him, please remember to follow him on his LinkedIn. The address is actually provided at the bottom of this screen. So thank you, Alan, again, and everyone for watching my live. If you do like this live, please remember to share and let your friends know. Please follow me on my Facebook, Xing Chu, on the address link also provided at the bottom of this screen, so that you will know when I will go live next. So I will see you all in the next edition. So until then, I would like to wish all of you a very happy New Year 2021. Stay safe and have a great weekend ahead. Right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yep.